10864. Stations your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon.
With 2 seconds on the clock. He hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it. The Ducks have won.
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Catch made. Touchdown, Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
A lot to get to today, including Athletic Director Tuesday. Senior Associate Athletic Director Damon Murkerson will join us today. Also, Oregon Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer with us before the 6 o'clock Saturday exhibition matchup with Portland State. They're treating it like it's a counting match because it's the only time for the next month that Oregon Volleyball is in town. They're on the road an awful lot over the first few weeks of the season. We have all that for you coming up. Also, a women's basketball non-conference schedule that has been released. It's on GoDucks.com. More info to come there. And Oregon football practice will now be held indoors this afternoon. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, with air quality due to wildfires in the area, the air quality is such that the Ducks will now be practicing indoors rather than outdoors, but we will still hear from head coach Dan Lanning after practice today, and we'll have that for you on the show tomorrow. Also, Cornerbacks coach Demetrice Martin met with the media after practice yesterday, and we begin zeroing in on the cornerback position with the Duck cornerback coach. They call him Coach Meat, Demetrice Martin, meeting with the media.
In the spring, you were talking about improving at takeaways and tackling. Halfway through camp, where are you?
Definitely getting better with the attention to getting that part of our game better. Guys are running around and showing the effort and stuff like that. Obviously, we got camp legs right now, so missing some of the pop that I would like to see, but guys are getting better and the effort is there.
Sounded like you guys had several interceptions on Saturday. How much do you credit your guys for making some great plays? How much was some bad throws? What was the breakdown?
We got our hands on a couple balls. Just being in the right place, playing technique, and being where we're supposed to be. You get rewarded because technique will set you free.
This time last year to this time this year, what do you think this defense and the secondary in particular has improved the most?
A lot more connection within the scheme. A lot more better communication, understanding when to use the certain tools that have given them to put in their tool belt. When it comes up to different parts of the coverages, knowing to adjust the different formations, things like that, a lot of that is a lot smoother. Obviously, we having the young guys, they're struggling a little bit, but they're coming along too because we got a lot more guys that know it on the field.
Where's the evolution of Triquez? What's the next step for him? What have you seen him improve on since last year?
Just to keep getting better. Triquez is an old wily vet, with his background as a safety, helps him out tremendously within this scheme. He's a great long cover guy. He gets his hands on you, and that, is just when he doesn't, those are the things we need to work on so it'd be more consistent that he does.
Is he exclusively at the outside corner spots right now, Quez?
So far this camp, he has practiced mostly at corner due to, trying to get guys reps in other places and things like that. But he's got a ton of reps in the bank at other positions.
The relationship with Nico makes adding him obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But what does he bring to your room that you didn't have before? What option does he present to you?
A lot more versatility as far as he's a guy that can play inside, he can play outside, and then also his return game and on special teams and things like that. Just an added extra piece into that room where he's a plug and play pretty much anywhere that we might need.
Do you feel like you have now, no matter who it is, do you feel like you have CB1 and CB2 now? In the spring, you weren't sure. You wanted to wait till everybody got here. Now that you got everybody here.
Now that everybody's here, it's starting to emerge. Still not clear cut yet because we got a lot of guys making plays, not on the negative end, on the more positive end. A lot of guys are making plays, and you can see them getting better really fast.
What's it been like watching Cole mature over the past few months and add stuff to his game? And what do you think he's improved the most since being here?
What he's doing is schematically too. I mean, playing safety at the end of his senior year in high school was new to him. They just kind of stuck him in the middle of the field, said see ball, get ball, that type of thing. Now he has a lot more run fits and pass responsibilities that he's learning, but he's picking it up. So I'm pretty proud of him from watching him from outside of my room, working with the stars and the safety with Coach Ant.
It looks like he's bulked up a little bit this offseason. You know what he's up to now?
I don't. He loves the weight room because he loves the beach look. He loves his body. So.
Dalen and Roderick brought as guys who showed up in the summer compared to Solomon Solomon who's here in the spring. So just what are the guys who showed up in the summer?
Well, definitely all those guys.
Talk about probably the best DB coach in America right here.
That's my defensive coordinator. Yee. No, you talk about all those guys, coming in as a young group, they've upped the level. They've upped the score. So now they've helped Turquez, they've helped Manning, they've helped all those other guys step up their game. Being like, hey, man, these young guys are here and they're athletic and they're physical and they running and fast, they're learning stuff. So I love it. What they've brought is making the team better, definitely.
Roderick's speed as impressive as it is when you watch it on film?
Well, yeah, definitely. He's fast. He's pretty fast, and especially when he starts to know where to be fast too. He's going to really be fast, you know what I'm saying? So right now he's still kind of swimming a little bit, but it's coming. It's coming.
Going against the receivers every day, we know Troy, Trayshawn, Tez. Who are some of the younger guys, some of the less popular guys, I guess, for fans that have really impressed you so far?
Well, let me say this. We got a very, very talented receiver room. So it'd be hard-pressed to find another total group or receiver unit that we're going to go against that's better than the ones we go against each and every day. So, all those guys from top to bottom, you name it, you better have your spat tightened up and your chin strap ready.
The nickels and dimes working mainly with you, with Hamp, with both?
We kind of work them out both our rooms, so we cross-train. So if there's a safety that plays star or dime, they meet with Hamp. And if we have a corner that plays star or dime, they meet with me. So we just cross-train them like that.
How much of what happens there impacts who ultimately is on the outside of CB1 and 2 in terms of whether it's Kamari, whether it's Jaleel, whether it's Cole, whether it's Nico?
Yeah, that's what we kind of play around with. We play around with those reps like that. So that's where we naturally get the cross-training at. So whoever, Coach deems he wants to see more at star or dime or safety, that dictates who getting more reps at corner or things and such like that. So we kind of do it from inside out on that aspect.
How have you seen Kamari and Jalil kind of handle the challenge this fall? I mean, they played a lot as true freshmen, but now you bring some veterans in here to compete. Just how have they dealt with that?
Really well. They're guys that's teaching them our characteristics, are what we want to be as corners and stuff like that. So I hear them helping those guys. And, I kind of preach all the time, like, hey, man, if you can teach this stuff while you can play it, it's going to make your game better. And they kind of bought into that, and they're bringing the youngsters along.
Kamari in particular, where have you seen him make the biggest leap between last year and now?
Kamari, just scheme, just knowing the scheme and being confident in his movements and things and such like that. He's going to be a good one.
With some of the opposing offenses in the league are shifting to the Bay Area schools going more open, does that allow you guys to be more sub this year than in the past? You had to worry about, Washington was going to be multi-tight end, Cal was going to be multi-tight end, Stanford was going to be multi-tight end. Now, Oregon State and Utah, but everyone else is going to be more 3 and 4 wide this season. Is that going to make more of that emphasis on nickel and dime this season?
No doubt. You know me, I'm kind of selfish when it comes to that. The more cover guys you can get on the team, the better. That's what I want. I want guys that can rush the passer and guys that can cover the receiver. So, obviously with the way our conference is and where it's going towards for this year, we definitely going to need more cover guys.
When you address situational awareness with your room in the offseason, just give us like the overview of when you're to your guys on 3rd and 7+ in particular, like what are the points that you want to get across to make that improvement?
Oh man, we just want to we keep it simple. It's called cornerback kiss. So 3rd and 7 situations, obviously we'll know our calls for that week, and our calls are going to dictate what kind of leverage and where our help is and things and such like that. So obviously it'll change from each team that we play, each opponent that we play, but definitely we pride ourselves on being a situational smart secondary.
That's Cornerbacks coach and passing game coordinator Demetrice Martin meeting with the media yesterday. Brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. Question about the release date for the depth chart with Bo solidified as QB1. Wondering if Coach Lanning would release it earlier this year. I don't know for sure, but I doubt it. I think in general, those organizational charts and depth charts, they tend to get released right around game week, and there's these days a lot of ors. You're going to have player A or player B or player C starting at a given position. And to be honest with you, and I don't think that I'm telling anyone any breaking news here, the Ducks are going to rotate a lot of guys, particularly at the skill positions on offense and really all throughout the defense. It's not just your starting 11. It depends on situations. They're going to play a lot of different guys. They've been doing that in practice. They did it last year. I expect them to continue to do that all season long. Before we get Damon Murkerson in here, Senior Associate Athletic Director, women's basketball, we've got a non-conference schedule for you. Kelly Graves just announced the non-conference schedule today. Officially begins with the season opener against Northern Arizona on November 6th at Matthew Knight Arena. The Ducks will play 7 of their 13 non-conference games at home, while also competing at the Trailblazer Classic hosted by Utah Tech to close the non-conference slate. Oregon will meet the Trailblazers on December 19th before taking on Oklahoma State on December 21st. Non-conference schedule highlighted by 4 teams that qualified for last year's NCAA tournament, including Baylor, Portland, Oklahoma State, and Southern. Ducks will make a trip to Waco, Texas to take on 3-time national champion Baylor on Sunday, December 3rd. Oregon will host Southern Oregon in an exhibition game on Sunday, October 29th, before officially beginning the season against Northern Arizona. So that Southern Oregon exhibition is when things get rolling on the 29th. Season tickets are now on sale. GoDucks.com/tickets. And the start times and broadcast information will be announced at a later date along with the conference schedule for Oregon women's basketball. GoDucks.com, though, has that full schedule, and you can find it via the Oregon women's basketball social media as well. Start getting your tickets, GoDucks.com/tickets. When we return, it's Athletic Director Tuesday with Damon Murkerson. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Every Tuesday, it's Athletic Director Tuesday, and the Senior Associate Athletic Director for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging, Damon Murchison, is here.
What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, thanks for coming in. I just want to say that it's the first time that we've had you back since the summer, and I have to tell fans a little inside the athletic department.
Okay, let's go.
So Damon started something over the summer where the entire athletic department went for walks together. So I have kindly requested that we do it not right during the lunch hour before the show. But I got to tell you, what a great idea. Like, I don't know if you realize how many people have actually mentioned it when they come into the studio, like, hey, have you guys gone for the walk yet? So, well done. That was a cool idea. Where'd that idea come from?
It came from the people. Really? In our community and inclusion committee, we just talked about different ways of engaging, low-hanging fruit, a little health conscious. And now we're having fun with it. Right now we're going walking Wednesdays, additions. We had a bike ride one. We got one with the dogs coming up, and you never know. Those are I work with a creative bunch.
Yeah, I should clarify. Dogs like your pets, not any huskies. I should clarify.
Right. No, not walk with huskies.
So what'd you do all summer? It's been a few months since fans have heard from you on the show.
Yeah, man. Personally, I've just been exploring the state. Now that the summer came, I've been taking these little quick drives. Me and my wife had the chance to go to Crater Lake, and it was amazing, man. Yeah. I mean, such a sight. I think anybody that comes into the state of Oregon should visit that place. But Blue Pool, Cannon Beach. I mean, I've been just making my way across. I like drive day trips though. I need them to be day trips. I need to get there and get back.
Okay.
I need to get back to my bed and rest.
You picked a good spot in the state. You're right in the middle for a lot of those day trips. So you did that on purpose.
Oh yeah, it was part of all part of the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's been fun, man. It's been really, really fun to just get to, Oregon is such a unique, place geography-wise, and just all the different type. You can go east. You're in the Bend area. You got the coast to the west. So it's we loving it. We've loving it so far, and look forward to some more trips.
So you're all about the explore again idea. You've been exploring this state. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm a guy. Do as the Romans do. That's the kind of guy I am usually. So I do what the locals do.
Are you a planner? Like in general, are you someone that likes structure and planning?
Not really.
Really?
No, not at all. I drive my wife crazy as a result of this because none of these trips are planned. I should mention that. It's kind of like, we're going to get some breakfast and we're driving to Crater Lake. So no, I like to keep things. Keep my body guessing is my motto.
Okay.
Keep my body guessing.
All right, good, fair enough. What about professionally? I mean, I mentioned like the walks, but you also have done a lot of work since you've been here. It's now. Does it feel like it's almost been a year yet?
It is crazy. It does not. I feel like I'm still learning so much. Like there's so much I need to learn. Within our athletic department alone, let alone the whole campus. But my professional life, I'm definitely proactively putting things out there, and being strategic to what our needs are. Like that's what I love about this place, and love about specifically here learning about our little local culture, because it helps me, figure out what are those ways of engaging the whole department that it's unique and specific to what we have here in the city of Eugene.
That's cool. Damon Murchison joining us. Okay, so a lot has happened since you've been last on the show. It's been a slow news summer. There's been nothing to talk about. I want to start here, I guess. Like, there's obviously so many questions still that remain to be solved, I think is a fair description with the transition to the Big Ten. Now, you're one, though, that has a lot of conversations with student athletes. Would you mind sharing what some of those conversations have been like with student athletes? Because a transition can be tough. I mean, it's tough for us. I'm sure it's tough for the student athletes, too.
Absolutely. Just a lot of questions. I think, it's a mixed – we're human beings, so, right? We all have, like, a mixture of emotions, right? Some of it is sad. Some of it's excitement, just many questions. Like what is this? What is this going to mean from a travel standpoint? And then what are some other opportunities? Excitement of like, what can we do to build on this? Like, is there programming that they do? From especially students that are involved in like our SAC committee, or even in touch with Oregon, they're looking at the potential opportunities, and we're definitely helpful to them, and we calm them down and say, hey, we still got a year of PAC left,
right? So
let's make sure let's focus on all the good work we're doing in our local community here, and engaging with that conference before we move on to thoughts, which is hard to do, right?
You touched on this, and I keep coming back to what President Schultz said in the press conference, actually, that hey, look, like, this is going to be difficult for a lot of reasons. The history of the Pac-12, and he said, we can express multiple emotions at the same time. I keep coming back to that as like a reminder of, it's okay to feel that way, and so I was curious. I think that's a great perspective. Now, he also talked a little bit about the academic alliance that he was a part of when he worked at Wisconsin. How much of that have you even started to dive into? Like, hey, we still have one more year with the PAC, but do they have diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging initiatives? Like, how much have you jumped into that at this point?
Sure. Briefly, even before the conference, you're always trying to make sure you're staying up to time with with industry standard, maybe,
Sure.
right? So. Have definitely looked in. They have some professionals that do similar work like me. They have initiatives, conference-wide that are similar to some of the work we do. The PAC was very innovative in those areas, so we're going to have to bring, help bring also some ideas as well to just kind of like make sure we continue to move forward in the way that we were doing in this space. So
I think you have a great perspective on this for a number of reasons, but to give a little bit of a backstory for those of you that have not either heard our previous conversations or have looked up the multiple bios, by the way. I don't know if I ever told you this. So when Damon got the job, it's like you do the Google search, right? Like this is what somebody like me does. The number 3 thing that shows up is still your Syracuse profile for football.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, that's the number 3 thing that shows up on Google.
That's
so I say all this is just give a little background. Like you were a student athlete, now you've worked professionally in college sports. Just what is your thought as college sports has gone through this just in a lot of ways evolution in the last 10 years and who knows where it's going to be. I think that's a totally unfair question to even ask you, but I don't know, just perspective if you could.
Yeah, no, it's so interesting, when you think about how much deregulation is happening from the NCAA standpoint in general, and then you look at all the conference moving. As a putting myself back into my athlete body, it is somewhat.
You still have the athlete body.
It's at the back. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I work. I try to keep it going.
That's what those Wednesday walks are all about.
Keep it,
we know you were on your bike all summer.
It's true.
See,
still a bike guy.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's there's positive in there with sadness, and I think again focusing on the deregulation, a lot of that is in the effort to give the student athletes a better experience, right? And resources help with that. So there's a part of me that seeing the results of it is kind of like, wow, no, I can get more food, again, simple things, right? Being able to give athletes a few more meals, this is something that years ago that got passed, but and then you look at the conference alignment and what the more opportunities for improving the student experiences be. Initially, I think I would have struggled, but inevitably felt better. It's hard to see the forest through the trees.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm guilty of that for sure. That's why I like to on this show. Like I always have said like I'm a professional regurgitator. I talk to people like you that are in it. You're a lot. You're making these decisions. You've had this perspective, and then I like to just absorb all of that.
Sure.
And so like I've heard from some that have been graduating for like 10 years that are like, man, with all the deregulation, like if I had all that as a student athlete, it would be a lot better. And it's. There's certainly a student athlete focus, and that's what this should all be about.
Exactly.
I kind of feel like so. I don't know. In any case, soccer season also underway.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time that you've been a sport administrator.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So what's that been like? Like, take fans inside that, if you could. Like, what's it like being in that chair as soccer season gets going on Thursday?
It's scary, exciting. Because you've watched this team, grind it out the whole off season. Whether it be practice, in the school and getting in the books, and just seeing them come together, chemistry-wise. I think there's another level of appreciation as an administrator who works with them from an educational standpoint. I always see segments of it, but having a chance to be in it throughout the entire process, again, even as a former student athlete, you have another layer of appreciation for where you're at right now, and just excited to see what all that hard work that was put into what it results in. So we got a great group, a great group of young women, and the new young athletes, the freshmen that came in, followed in and have enhanced us as well. So we got some excitement ready for the fans for sure.
So being a sport administrator, I'm kind of curious, like did you have a relationship when you were a student athlete with some of those administrator types? Like who did you model yourself after, I guess, was in a new role like this?
And this is again part of the new change. Not every school had that that process put in, right? Like that's something that was relatively new at that point. But for me, I was really close with our academics and life skills administrators. So again, they were very. I always appreciate the perspective of helping prepare students for something beyond sports. So that's who I model my approach with, and make sure that students understand that yes, we want to win, but winning without developing you isn't winning. So that's kind of my approach.
You know, it's interesting that like in some ways it just works out in that way because traditionally the soccer programs had one of the highest GPAs every year. So you know, it just works out. I guess.
Man, I'm not saying it's me because just got here, but it might be.
Hey, keep it going though.
Yeah, we'll do.
You know, I mean, that's something I love that you bring that up because you know, Coach Abel's office is right across from ours. So I obviously talk with Coach Abel quite a bit, and he values the education side of being a student athlete so much. Like that is a cool piece to it. Damon Murchison joining us. So what's like Thursday going to be like for you? You know, are you going to be like the nervous, like when the Ducks take on Baylor, it's the first counting event, I should say, of the season. We've been talking about that. So are you going to be like nervous parent energy? Are you going to be like really like I don't know, what's it going to be like on Thursday?
Man, listen, I pray that my inner father doesn't come out, because what my father would do is just scream at refs, going crazy, and I got to remain somewhat impartial.
Sure.
So I think what I'm going to do is during pregame I'm going to be really crunk. And as the game settles, I'm going to do my best to just stand off to the side, out of people's perspective, so I don't get thrown out of the field.
Yeah. So if you see someone just standing like over to the corner away from the stands, just don't go near him, right? Just let you have your
just let me have my space,
your moment. I understand. You know, so I guess lastly on that front, I just kind of like to take fans inside, you know, what goes on from game to game. Like, what are the day-to-days for being a sport administrator? Like, how have you really stepped into that role? I don't know. I think it's interesting to hear about what people are doing every day.
Yeah, sure. I think each coach is different, right? So you really you get an understanding for, you know, what your coach's specific needs. Now, generally speaking, obviously you're overseeing budget, you're helping with certain decisions.
The fun stuff.
The fun stuff. And, you know, talking about certain athletes, making sure that, you know, the support staff around them is doing what they need to do. But I think where the personalized is, you know, what are the big focuses that coach wants to get with the program? As you mentioned with Coach Abel Graham, he's big on, you know, this holistic experience. So how am I, you know, as an admin connecting with his students as well as those other support people connecting with? So coming up and brainstorming ideas, you know, he had some great things that he did for team building, you know, going to the lake, having educational sessions, bringing in good speakers throughout the camp, you know, discussing those things, because the soccer stuff, we trust him. We hired him and the staff for a reason. They're going to handle that, right? Yeah. How do we make sure that chemistry and all those other pieces from outside the program are helping him, you know, get to where we want to be, which is playing, you know, at a championship level.
Damon Merkerson joining us. A couple final thoughts. Throughout the summer, I feel like I'm always reminded when we get to this time of year that a quarter school starts a little later.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know, it's end of September, and we're already kind of rolling in football, volleyball, basketball, cross country. Like, I say basketball, like that's already getting rolling. Soccer's always the first to kick things off. Like, I have to kind of take a moment and be like, oh, yeah, students come back end of September.
End of September,
right?
yeah.
So how does that impact the way that you operate with some of the educations that you do for students? I mean, like, how do you, I guess, structure it? Like, what should fans take fans inside it, I guess?
Yeah, no, great question.
Go through that.
Great question. And this time I spent a lot of time with our staff. You know, staff is definitely a big component of my work as well. But then from staff to students to community.
Yeah.
So you'll see from us, you know, especially with September being the middle of September being Hispanic Heritage Month, is a lot of engagement, you know, from the teams of the community, as a department with the community, because we are, you know, the University of Oregon is in Eugene, Oregon, right? Yeah. This is as much a part of our student athletes experience is as much as engaging with that community as it is engaging with our general fans and student body. So you'll see. Again, educational sessions. You'll see, obviously, we had Fan Fest happen. Yep. You'll see a host of different events from a DEI standpoint that really talk to that general community.
Did you go to Fan Fest?
I did.
Yeah,
I did. I was very aggressive in the game of knockout. With a number of students.
I was going to ask, like, what was your, you know, event of choice?
Yeah.
So it was knockout.
I was going. You know, I didn't. I played a win.
Yeah.
And I was asked to jump in the game, and I made it very clear to the athletes that I'm going to try to beat everyone in here. I don't believe in letting people win. And I'm happy that I won. I got 1 out of 6 games, so it's not a great ratio, but I won 1 game.
Hey, 1. The 1 is the one you remember.
That's all I remember.
And you hit like a dramatic shot. That's how it
Oh,
happens.
yeah, eliminate basketball players, soccer players. Yeah. Everybody was getting the business.
That's right. I was wondering if you did the soccer penalty kicks.
I attempted. And I failed.
Okay.
So I moved on.
Moved on to the one that you I respect that.
Strength-based. I'm from a strength-based standpoint. I'm not going to work on the weaknesses. I'm going to go what I know I'm strong.
Hey, that's that's good. You know your role. You go right for it. I'm in for that. What's on the horizon this year? What's coming up?
Yeah, well, we're going to be releasing our overall diversity action plan from a department standpoint. We have some things with B Oregon, be on the lookout for some cool branding and some cool enhancements to what the call of the action was already about. Our volleyball team is going to kick off some really cool programming. They've been very innovative and very forward thinking about how they want to approach this season and their initiatives. So in all our sports, you'll see that in all our sports. Just from a fall standpoint, volleyball and soccer will be the first ones to head it up.
What do we miss? Anything else fans should know?
Come out and support, man. Come out and support, and look out for all the educational opportunities as us as a department, as our student athletes are going to do. Because I can't stress enough, while I help with some of the directions, this is all our educational stuff from the B Oregon initiatives is really student led. So these are things that are important to them and important to the community.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I got nothing else.
Let's get it, man.
Damon Murchison, Senior Associate Athletic Director, joining us. So you'll be back again in a few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So until then, here's to some victories.
Yeah, let's get it, man.
All right. When we come back, Matt Ulmer, Oregon volleyball head coach, talking about the volleyball program. He's going to be with us here in the Coach Financial Studio. Their only home event for like a month and a half is this weekend, the way the schedule fell. So come out and support. Matt Ulmer joins us next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. He's Matt Ulmer. Oregon volleyball head coach is here.
Woo!
Welcome back to the Country Financial Studio. No, I'm changing it up today. Watch this. We did the double fist bump.
Okay.
And then the handshake.
You didn't mean to do that.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I had no idea. I defaulted to I always fist bump everybody, and
See,
then
if I was a good friend,
oh man,
I wouldn't have said anything.
but I'm not.
But you're not a good friend.
Yeah, just totally just call you out for it.
That's okay. You want to do it again? Left hand,
Nope.
right hand?
Nope.
You just gonna leave me hanging?
No, I'll do the.
You're gonna leave me hanging
on the way
entire
out.
interview.
We'll do the double fist pump on the way out to make up for it, and
Okay.
then next week, remember what you're supposed to do.
Oh man, can we just go back?
No.
Scott, cut back to that camera.
No.
Can you do that for me? Thank you. Okay. Welcome back to Duck Insider. Joey Mack here in the Country Financial Studio. Matt Ulmer is here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the Oregon volleyball head coach.
I have major trust issues now.
Matt Ulmer is here. That was much better. Much better. Hey, season's underway. Did it feel like the season got underway when you had some fans in the building to watch your team over the weekend?
That was great. Yeah, it did.
Good.
Yeah, it was really fun. Fun to see our group out there, a lot of new faces, and get to meet the season ticket holders, and just to be able to see everybody and have conversation and just see the excitement that they have for the season. It was really a nice day.
So what are your takeaways from something like that? I mean, it's another practice for you all. You've seen your team go against each other, but it is different, I'd imagine, when there's fans in the stands, the lights go on, as they say. Like, what are some of your takeaways for something like that?
Yeah, it's a bigger dress rehearsal, right? So it's see what we're going to actually act like when real volleyball actual referee,
Right.
and fans and the lights are on, the whole deal.
Right.
To see how we're going to respond. And overall, I thought we started out great. I think the freshmen, that was their first chance to be in front of people and to be on, the main court and all that kind of stuff. And I thought they started out a little nervous, which you would expect, and then they worked their way through it. And I thought the competition level increased as we went on. So overall, I thought it was a really good first showing.
We touched on the depth of your squad last week and how you just have more players on the roster. I mean, for a scrimmage like this, just how beneficial is that aspect for your team?
Yeah, it's great because you get a chance to see everybody, and they all get a chance to, with the last one and then this scrimmage coming up, the exhibition against Portland State, we get a chance to see what everybody's going to do out there, and you just get a better read, a better gauge, a better evaluation of what they're going to be like.
So Portland State coming up Saturday, 6 o'clock. Now, this is a little unique. So it's going to be on August 19th, and then it's not until September 22nd that Duck Volleyball is back in town, just with the way the non-conference schedule fell. And so I understand that you all are going to treat this, even though it's an exhibition, you're treating this like full-on introductions, the light show. Like, this is a full-on match for you all.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I think it's really important for everybody on our team. I think it's important for the staff, for the arena staff and marketing and everybody, just that we go through it, because again, the next time that we do it, it's the live deal. So no alumni game at the beginning this time. We've kind of moved that to May. And they changed we have a new change where you can have a certain amount of dates that you can play as opposed to matches. So we have a date that we can play an exhibition match, which we've never done before. This is the first time. And Portland State was willing to do that, and we're able to have it here. So I think that's I think it's a really good thing for us.
I remember we talked in the spring about moving the alumni event. It just works out better with the pro schedule, right?
It does. So a lot of the professionals of our alumni that play professionally, they're already gone by the time we do it. So we try to wait till they come back, and then they're actually feeling, they're in shape and coming back, and they're excited to get back to Eugene and reconnect with everybody. So I think it works better.
Awesome. Well, so Portland State coming up. I was curious, like I mentioned the phrase "the lights going on." You and I have discussed this before, and I always think it's interesting with every group. Maybe they react a little different. You know, when you're in front of fans, it changes things, doesn't it?
Yeah, and some, I mean, they really like it. Just even the bigger crowd, or being on the road, or being, whatever. I mean, I think people react differently to the different situations, and there's no way of knowing what they're going to do until you get them out there. So, practice is one thing, and hopefully we can simulate what we do in practice in a game.
Yeah.
But some people kind of raise it up a notch in a match, and I think that's important information to have.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Matt Ulmer joining us, Oregon Volleyball head coach. So this is going to become a weekly check-in. Now, do you happen to know where we're at with season tickets? Are we approaching the record for season ticket sales?
We are. We're getting dangerously close.
Yeah.
We're like, at bedtime when I normally sing to my kids, I'm starting to sing the national anthem to them. I was like, Willow Johnson is staying with us for a couple weeks, so she's training with us, before she goes and plays her pro season. And we have a guest bedroom downstairs that she's staying in, but my daughter's room is right above hers. And the next morning she goes, "Did you sing the national anthem last night?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I did." My 2-year-old doesn't really know. She thinks it's okay, but I'm like, I better practice.
Okay. If you missed it last week.
Yeah.
Coach Ulmer said that he would sing the national anthem on senior night if we, the collective we, broke the season ticket record. See that? Broke the season ticket record for Duck volleyball. Do you have exact numbers? Like, what are we talking?
I think we're 20 away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it was less than 50 when I checked after the. Yeah. I'm also told that
I think we cut it in half since then.
So I'm also told that season tickets did spike a little after our conversation last week. So to the fans that needed that little push and we gave it to them, Coach, just good job.
Right there, we're right there.
Really well done.
And I'm practicing.
Are you? That's actually great.
Thank you.
I need to remind everybody though. Coach Ulmer is actually a really good singer, and one of the promotions that you're going to see during the season incorporates Coach Ulmer singing, and it won't surprise you when the mask comes off.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I'd rather not embarrass our country with me singing. I'm hopefully not a Carl Lewis deal, you know.
No.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try.
I think that you'll do a great job.
I'm preparing.
Yeah. How's the team feel about
I
this?
believe.
Have they discussed this with you?
I think they roll their eyes.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so.
So like every day.
I sing to them all the time. So,
so they're used to it. Yeah.
They're
that's
like,
great.
please stop singing.
That's great. So so it'll just be another day at volleyball for them. Another day at practice.
Yeah. I think they'll
That's
cheer.
cool.
I think they'll be happy.
Yeah, that's cool.
They'll be supportive of me.
As they should be.
I think they will.
What are the focuses in practice this week? What do you want to get better at after you saw action under the lights and then you got a new opponent coming up this weekend?
That's a good question. Consistency. I think our serving, that's generally going to be something that I'll say serve and pass, which that's
all the time.
Shocking, right?
Yeah. That's your Matt Ulmerism.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Actually, we have a great group that's older that we can try to do some little more nuanced things offensively, and so we've been working on some different schemes or some different approach patterns.
Okay, we're going to cut this out because we don't want anybody to know that, but please continue.
Oh, that's okay. People can know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
But working on some stuff like that I think if we can throw that into our game, then that can maybe take us to another level. So it's fun when you have an older group that's so experienced that they get a chance to maybe work on some things that are a little higher, even higher level for them.
Wow.
So if we can get the hang of that, then I think that can make us a little different. And then for the newbies, to be able to start working on stuff like that early, that's they're doing well. They're following right along.
So. Portland State, is this a situation where you go through? We talked about how you're treating it as if it's a full-on counting match, but do you do a preseason scout? Do you have a lot of information on them? I don't know. How do you approach that as a coaching staff?
Yeah, this match and then our first match against San Diego, you don't really have a ton of information.
Yeah, you don't know.
So you can go off of what they've done in the past, or if they had transfers, that maybe play, if you have video of them from before, something like that. But you don't necessarily know. They could change their speed of offense. They could change their defensive schemes. You don't know. So it's nice to have an idea, but, we need to be able to learn quickly in a match of how we're going to adjust.
Duck Volleyball at Matthew Knight Arena on Saturday at 6 o'clock, and we've got more with the Oregon Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer when we come back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
Hey, Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Duck volleyball against Portland State, 6 o'clock on Saturday. We continue with the head coach, Matt Ulmer, with us here in the studio. I did want to ask you a little bit bigger picture. I did an opinionated segment yesterday on the show where I said
opinion?
Mine. Crazy, I know. I'm a believer that preseason polls do matter. I think that if you're a program that has that sort of respect and also the expectation to be successful, that you should be showing up in those preseason polls. Now, do you care where you are in the preseason poll as much as the end of season poll? No, of course not. But, a program like yours, you've built a top 10 program nationally, number 9 in the preseason poll coming out today. How do you feel about that as a coach? Like, do you embrace those sort of expectations, or I don't know. Like, I feel like coaches have different philosophies on those sorts of things.
I mean, I'd rather be in it than not be in it.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm not a big underdog kind of guy. Like, I just want to beat you and say it to your face.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So I'm good with that. I mean, again, that's why we schedule the way we schedule. You're not trying to duck anybody. You're trying to get after it. It's also what we talked about going to the big. Like, that's exciting from a competition standpoint. Like, you want to go play the best. So, 5 of our non-conference opponents are in the top 14 in the preseason poll. So, you know what I mean? It's like we're going for it, I mean, this is a group that we're trying to be really good, and we're fine if people know that. The target's on our back. Like, we want that target on our back, and I hope we can respond in kind that we have to show up every day because we're gonna get their best shot.
Yeah, it's the whole, like, pressure is a privilege thing, right? Like, I hear people talk about that all the time.
I think you work for that.
Yeah.
You put in that effort so that you can be at the top of your game and playing the best.
I agree. Also, since we last talked, it's become official. Your coaching staff has filled out.
Yeah.
Chance to talk about your 2 new coaches.
Yeah. So Erica Nasser. So she's a Beaver by trade. It's okay. It's all right.
I love that you led with that. You didn't
because she does it, and I'm like, just embrace it. Like, just it's okay.
Yeah.
But there are some things around campus where we do talk a little trash about Beavers, and so, like, she's done some recruiting visits now, and she's have to point that out, and I just kind of want to see how she handles it. And she's done that part's kind of fun, but she's great. Erica's great. She was a great. I've known her since she was 14, and she played at a competing club that I would coach against her, and she was great then, and then was a great player for Oregon State in the middle. She played a couple professional seasons, and then she came back, and she's been assistant coach at Oregon State the last few years. And but I've known her for a long time, and she's one of the great people out there in our profession. So I think our student athletes love her already in the short amount of time, and I feel very fortunate that she's here. And Delaney Hands, who was an assistant coach, just finished her playing career. She was at Georgia as a setter, and then South Carolina. So we actually played her last year also in Miami, and we beat her. No, Delaney's fantastic, and so it's great to have another setter in the gym as a coach, and just someone that can mentor. Chris Klein, who our freshman setter. We have some older setters with Elise and Hannah, but just can maybe be around Chris more and give her some of that love and experience. And again, just another great volleyball mind in the gym. So it's a really good feel, and I think our student athletes are having a good time.
I have to tell a little bit of a story about Erica Nasser. So it was a little full circle for me, because she was playing in Corvallis from 11 to 14. Those were the years that I was calling play-by-play for Oregon volleyball. And I have vivid memories of Oregon versus Oregon State and Eric and Nasser on the other side. It was kind of a cool moment for me even,
That's
too.
really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We graduated the same year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the Ducks were successful a few times against that Beaver team.
But she beat us one time her senior year.
Yeah.
Her team, they were good.
I
They were the
remember.
Sweet 16 that year. It was a good group.
Yeah,
she reminds me of that, too.
I remember.
So it's okay.
I called that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blocked it out of my mind, though.
They were good. But she's great. So anyway, the staff is awesome.
It's awesome.
Yes. So and Erica Dillard is still here.
Right.
So and
I'm
still winning.
You're still winning.
So
yeah, Ulmer 8, Dillard 7 on the annual scoreboard check. Matt Ulmer joining us, Oregon volleyball head coach. What else should fans know, Coach? This is the first time that everyone gets to see your team in action. What else should fans know? What do we
I
miss?
would say please come out again. We wish we could be home more in the non-conference. But just with our goals, like I explained last week, it's just really important for us to go get the matches that we needed to get. So, please come out and support the team. And then we're going to be really, really excited to come back for that Oregon State match and be home. And all the students will be back then. Our freshmen will be back. We're here, so that'll be really exciting. But it's a great group. There's a lot of new faces, so, I hope you get to know them quickly. But the older crew, the experienced group, they want to leave their mark on the history of the program, which they already have done, but they want this to be a really great final season for them. And so I just hope that we support them the whole way. They deserve it.
Cool. Thanks, Coach.
Hey.
Appreciate you being here.
You're great.
You're great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good interview today.
Yeah. We talked way too much about volleyball.
Well, I gave you an open floor. What else should fans know? And you went volleyball.
I did volleyball.
So I feel like, Portland State in town Saturday, 6 o'clock. It's good to cover volleyball here.
Yeah, that's true.
And a reminder: season tickets. If you're on the ledge,
come on.
Now's the time. GoDucks.com. Season tickets available.
Do you play an
Very
instrument?
affordable.
Do you do an instrument?
Not well.
That's okay. What do you do?
No. See, that's the thing. You're actually
recorder, huh?
You're actually good.
Do you do the recorder?
I played baritone actually.
Ooh.
How everyone does some form of band when they're in school.
Mm-hmm.
I was a trumpet and baritone, and I was okay, but I haven't played since middle school.
Well, you got 4 months.
No, my wife's the one that you want to talk to.
We could do it together.
My wife's the one
What
that
does
you want
she
to
do?
talk to. She can play guitar.
Oh, that would be helpful.
Yeah, so that would actually be nice.
That would be nice.
But what about a family ensemble? Can the entire Ulmer clan perform together?
I mean, we can't even get a good picture together.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Well, we have a 3-month-old. He doesn't know where to look, and then the 2-year-old.
But isn't the 3-month-old the
wants to
beauty
run
of
around
it
the world.
that they don't need to be looking at the camera?
Yeah, but as far as singing, he's not quite there yet.
Well, he can hold a tambourine.
He cannot.
It could sit on him.
Remember, father?
Just became one.
3 months. How long? No, not just.
Yeah. Literally.
A year. Well, that's a
Just
year's
became
a long
one.
time. Oh, just became.
He just became
one.
one.
I thought you were saying you just became one like a father.
No.
Got it.
Sorry.
It's been a year.
It's been a year.
Hey,
Yeah.
you did it.
I know. Crazy. Couldn't believe it.
I lost money, I think.
Yeah, you did.
That's good.
You were on the in the betting pool of how long will it take for Joey to drop the kid?
And
I haven't yet.
Come on.
Yeah. Everybody had no faith.
Exceeded expectations.
That's, but also the bar was
your whole
set
life,
low.
I feel like.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, but just barely, right?
Continue. You just got to clear the bar.
Just enough.
You can set a world record by just barely clearing the bar.
That's true. So wise.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. In any case, Matt Ulmer's Oregon volleyball team in action Saturday, 6 o'clock. Come out, support at Matthew Knight Arena, and thanks every Tuesday for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
He'll be back next week. When we return, we're going to talk a little bit of football. Heard from some new student athletes, new additions to the roster this week. That's next on the Oregon Sports Network.
I'll never
from
trust
Learfield.
you again, ever.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays? The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. My thanks to Matt Ulmer for joining us. Also, this was great. Comment on the show from Tobiah. Wearing socks with sandals is also a privilege. A privilege that can only be exercised by Matthew Ulmer. Richard asking, is it on TV for the volleyball exhibition? No, it is not going to be televised volleyball exhibition. Just come on out to Matthew Knight Arena. That's where all the action's going to be. But I understand if you live out of the area, unfortunately, no, this one will not be televised. But the University of Oregon's live streams, we're back at it for another season, and also the Pac-12 Network broadcast will continue for Oregon soccer and Oregon volleyball this year, and I'm looking forward to a lot of those being televised. The Ducks are on TV a lot, and the Ducks are on live streams a lot. And shout out to Scott LeBounty, Alex Stimson, Brandon Reichelt, their entire crew, Quack Video. We're very proud of those live streams, and we hope that you all enjoy tuning in via those live streams. The guys at KWVA also do a phenomenal job. The student radio station will once again be on the call for Oregon soccer and Oregon volleyball this year. That's where I got my start. As you just heard, I was on the call for some of the Duck matches when Erica Nasser was playing for Oregon State, now an assistant coach for the Ducks. It comes full circle. And similarly, people like Ryan Milano, who's going to be doing Oregon baseball with me. He's been the voice for Oregon softball. That's where a lot of us all started out. I mentioned some new additions to the roster. Gary Bryant and Nico Reed, wide receiver, defensive back for the Ducks. They met with the media. Didn't get to them today. We'll have that for you on the show tomorrow. Oregon practicing this afternoon. Having to be a little bit flexible with the air quality in the area due to the wildfires. Oregon practicing indoors. Coach Lanning meeting with the media after practice today to go over, well, a lot of things. And we'll have that for you on the show tomorrow. See you then, everybody. Go Ducks.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate.